What's up, everybody? This is episode 37 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to everybody that, showed love so far. For those that haven't seen my content, you can check it out on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. Today, our very special guest is none other than Senyo Toponwey. Did I
So,
say it right?
close is Toponwey.
Toponwey.
Yes.
Mr. Senyo Toponwey, whom everybody must know as Step in the Mix.
Yeah.
Step, thanks for coming on.
Yo,
And I really
shout out
appreciate you sharing your testimonial, man.
I appreciate you. I appreciate Dave first and foremost. Being a colleague in the media space and the basketball scene for the last 10 years. I've seen people come and go, and I also seen people that have built and have stuck around and continue to build. And shout out to Dave, humble guy, and just been working, grinding, and telling the important and intricate stories of New York City basketball. Not only just New York City, but basketball around the nation. So shout out to you, Dave.
I appreciate that, Step. So my first question is, since you are a coach, what's Step's coaching philosophy?
So my philosophy is where we are right now in society. I'm not coaching. I don't coach for sports. I don't coach for the sport. I coach for life. So whatever lessons that we're going to learn in between the lines, the lessons learned outside the lines are just as important. So that's my philosophy.
Damn.
I'm coaching for life.
Nobody else has said anything that short or that profound before, man. So I give it up to you. So, what part of Brooklyn are you from? And talk about the culture in the borough, the basketball culture.
Okay. I'm from East Flatbush, Brooklyn, born and raised. My whole life. This is my community. It's my village. This is my everything. This is my world. So my world begins in my community, and I want to be the change. Like it says, be the change you want to see in the world. And I want to be the change that I see in the world, and it begins with my community. And I'm blessed and honored to be a part of a big tradition when it comes to the sport of basketball in my borough. And I'm just trying to continue that through my life experiences and giving my story, my testimony of what I have seen, what I have witnessed, and what I've experienced in the basketball world here in Brooklyn to the youth coming up. As far as culture, me personally, I didn't start taking basketball serious until I got to about high school. I was blessed and fortunate to have one of the biggest legends we have in Brooklyn when it comes to coaching the game of basketball, Carlton Screen, as my coach and my mentor, like something like a second father through my teen years, and he encouraged me to coach as I got older, and I just took the mantle from him. That's the goal: take the mantle from him, and make sure that his legacy lives on forever.
So when did basketball start for you?
So sports started for me since I was born. My father was a soccer coach. Everything that I'm doing with coaching, he did with the game of soccer before I was born, while I was born, through my childhood years, and by the time I was a teen, he actually started coaching basketball as well. So he loved sports, and he loved coaching the kids, and he loved teaching them new things. And if it meant him learning the game of basketball, teaching them just the fundamentals of the game of basketball, that's where it began for me. And I'm just learning from my father, watching the game of basketball, loving the game of basketball through watching Michael Jordan. It's just that the things that my first skills, my fourth sport was basketball, because my first sport was soccer. Second sport, track and field. Third sport, football. And then basketball was like, everybody plays basketball. Your friends play basketball. After I'm done doing my other sports, let's go shoot some hoops. Or unfortunately for me, my sports dreams were altered in 2001. I was a pedestrian on a sidewalk, and a van ran up on the sidewalk and crushed me.
Oh.
So that left me in a coma. That left me in a coma for a month. ICU for 9 weeks. I had to learn to walk all over again. I got hit in February 26, 2001. I didn't get out the hospital until June 2001. After that, I was completely altered and changed forever. And my dreams of playing sports professionally, the sports that I did take up as my first sport, soccer, the goal was to play in the World Cup. I was on my way to that. That's how talented I was. Track and field, the goal was to possibly make it to the Olympics with track and field. I was close to that. Football, by the time I got to 12, my father asked me, you got a choice between soccer or putting the pads on? And I chose to put the pads on. So my first year of football, I was looking like All-American. And unfortunately, all that was taken away a couple months later in February, and I had to alter my dreams. My life was changed on me, and I had to develop new visions and new dreams for myself.
So how old were you when the accident took place?
I was 12.
Damn.
I was 12.
So like basically like what like how did the accident go down that day?
Basically that day, 2001, I was like basically just a regular kid home doing my homework. My mom was like, she's going outside. I'm sitting here doing my homework. My mom is like, I'm going outside, run an errand. Kids, Mom, I could go with you. And she was like, yeah, come with, you could come with me. My pops was like, finish your homework. And she was like, we're coming right back. We'll be right back. And that right back wasn't right back. That right back was a couple months later. So I said in one of my poems, I said I returned. I left my house one cold evening and didn't return to the next season. So yeah, that's just the cards I was dealt. As where I'm at now, I don't dwell on it, and only time I do dwell on it is because I look back and I look at my family dynamics of what it did to my family, not just me personally. Because if it was just about me personally, I would say, damn, I responded very well to everything that I've been through. But it was more about what it did to my family dynamic and how we didn't respond as a family well. So it kind of brought up some fractures in my household based on how we respond to pain. Everybody handles pain differently, and for a parent to almost see their kid pass away more than once in a span of a couple of months, because even after I was told I was in a coma for a month, even after I got out the coma, I was malnutritioned, and I had an incident where my stomach burst open again, and they had to rush me back to the OR to save me again. So my mom, she couldn't, she's very spiritual, very religious, and she just gave my life she said she just gave my life to God. And my father was more of a inward person. He keeps his emotions to himself. So it kind of taught him that his son wouldn't be able to, live out the dreams that that he was vicariously living through me, because he was training me and preparing me for the next level. But I said the other day, after seeing where my life has come, that, unbeknownst to him, he was preparing me not to be a professional athlete, but I like to say a professional motivator, because I might have the label of coach, but I'm not just a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm an influencer, a positive influencer. I don't speak no negativity. So everything I speak is positive. So I'm a positive influencer, and I don't say that. I don't say that I'm a trainer. Pardon. I don't say that I'm a trainer. I say, even though that I am training, I'm in the process of learning and getting better every day. I'm a life scholar, so I'm getting better every day. But I'm, you know, I'm turning into a personal trainer. I do have the knowledge, and I'm just working. You know, I'm working to motivate and inspire. However, whatever skill or whatever talent that I have that I can utilize to do that for others. So it began with me filming, and now I went from filming to coaching.
Wow, indeed. So you mentioned Carlton Screen. That's Carlton Screen, the father of the one that played in the Big East.
The Carlton Screen, the father.
Okay.
Carlton
So
Screen,
this was
FYA, Flatbush Youth Association. That's his program.
so when did that start?
So after my accident, I got to high school. When I got to high school, I still had still had the energy. And it's crazy we having this conversation because I just was I'm in school right now for physical education, and I just did I did an essay, a final exam essay on why I want to teach physical education, and I was breaking down my life story and exactly how physical education is pivotal to who I am and my ordeal, but also why I live in this spectrum in this realm of fitness, and not just the sport aspect of it, but like I said, the life aspect of it. And it began with FYA because although I was a liability to the team because of my injuries, he never looked or treated me any different. So because he saw that I fought not to be treated differently, he pushed me just as hard as everybody else. And that ultimately not necessarily prepared me for the game of basketball, but like I said, prepared me for the game of life. And the times that I didn't, or I wasn't playing against wasn't playing on the floor with the competition that I wanted to, like growing up in high school, our teams played in IS8, played against all the top pros that came out, J.R. Smith, all those type of players, even though I probably had a couple minutes in the game. You know how kids be on teams now and they be salty, they don't get in the game, or they be salty. Not to say that I never had those salty moments. I felt like I deserved to be in the game. But understanding and accepting who I was, it allowed me to look at the game differently and analyze the game differently and learn the game differently than everybody else. So that transition to me being able to coach the game. So shout out to Carlton Screen, and I'll love him forever for how he treated me and how he basically raised me through my teen years. Because I was my teen years. It was a difficult time for me because I was in a depression. I was fighting a depression. My life got turned over in a split second, and it was nothing I could do to regain my old self physically, but mentally, spiritually, I had to find ways to excel back into society because I went from being an alpha male, as in physically specimen and mentally able to articulate myself because my father always put the books in the sports together. But now it's like, damn, I'm not this physical person anymore. What am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I chased the game. I just turned into a big supporter and motivator for my friends. Shout out to Corinne Tidy Adams. Um, Possibly one of the, if we look at her accolades, possibly one of the greatest guards to come out of Brooklyn when it comes to female basketball in the city. And so what she did in college and what she did in the pros. Underrated, but our journeys went parallel from junior high school all the way through high school. So we were friends through high school, and Screen was her coach. Screen was my coach. We ended up going to high school together. So when I stopped being able to play sports the way I could, I always had my friends to go support. So even if I wasn't playing a game, I was still going to the game, supporting them. I was in high school when Sebastian Telfair was still playing high school basketball, and I seen the end of Sebastian's career and I seen the beginning of Lance's career. And I went to all the games, support my high school, just to go watch the Lincoln games. I would travel with basketball to go watch the Lincoln games around the city and just to be a part of the atmosphere. So basketball began as a love interest and as something that I could fit back into society and be normal, just like everybody else. And I used basketball as something I wanted to be a chameleon. I wanted to fit back in, and after a while, it was just following the love and the passion of the game.
Mm. So where did you go to high school, and did you get to play ball in high school?
So I went to James Madison High School, here in Brooklyn. I guess you could call it around Marine Park area. And I tried out for the team. I tried out for all the sports. This is what happened. My freshman year, I was still, so you could say I'm about a year and a half removed from my accident. And pardon, sorry about that.
It's all good.
I was a half removed from a year and a half removed from my accident. And when I got to high school, I still had that feeling like, nah, I could do it. So I was training to try to do it. I wasn't in as good a shape, but I made the soccer team freshman year. I made the football team, put some pads on. There was a big thing in the school, so we let him make it. He wants to make it. Doctors cleared him. Let him go out there and do it. I did it. I got in the football game, made my first tackle. I felt that pain. I never wanted to feel it again. Never wanted to feel it again. I'm like, you know what? I'm good
like
off
the pain was just shooting through as you made that tackle.
Like I felt like, I don't know if I hit a nerve. I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to feel this pain. I'm gonna stay off the football field. Basketball, at first, freshman year I wasn't as good. Just say freshman year I wasn't as good as I would be by my junior year. But by my junior year, as I got better, I had already become a truant in school. Like I said, I was depressed. So by the time after freshman year, it was more like, you know what, I almost died. I'm gonna live life the way I want to. I'm gonna live and have fun. So high school turned into that for me, and I don't regret none of that because I lived my life and I learned lessons from all of that, and I could take those lessons, and I still have those lessons with me to this day, to be able to give a reflection of my journey to the kids that are there living it now. So that was my high school. So,
but you did finish school, right? High school at least.
So what happened was with high school, being from New York City, nothing is pretty. You know what I'm saying? We do live, I say I'm a product of my environment. We do live life alternating scenarios daily in our environment. You get what I'm saying? So with me, it was I was depressed. I was going to a school that was for my race. It wasn't culturally proactive, and I wasn't feeling the support that I needed to push through with my studies, because it felt like they didn't really care about us in the building. So even back then as a teenager, you know, especially what's going on in society now, race plays an issue. And they kind of looked at my race in that school as a problem and not something to be celebrated or cultivated. And I just had to disconnect with the people in the building, basically, on what I'm going through in life and how we were learning. And and just how the environment in the school was. So I ended up transferring out of there, ended up going to alternative school. And the alternative school name was W.E.B. Du Bois High School. It was an alternative school. You get your credits up and try to clean up your your grades and get out. So I didn't end up finishing there because I had ended up getting into some things. I had some haters in the school. Ended up getting into some things. Ended up getting sliced. Got sliced. Got sliced across my face. Getting into altercation in the school building. Yeah. So I lived a different life as a teenager. And my mom was like, you know what, you haven't, because I got sliced like kind of like a month directly, like almost a month exactly after I got stabbed. Because I was walking around with chains. I wanted to be a pretty fly boy at a certain point. 16, 17. I was in clubs. You know what I'm saying? I was nighttime. I would leave for school, and I would leave for school and not come back home to like the next morning, like 2, 3 in the morning. My mom's like, yo, where you at? Like, it was just, living in the mix, like caught up in the mix, living life caught up in the mix at a young age,
Which is the reason for the name Step in the Mix.
Yeah. So, I was in the mix from a young age, and I learned my lessons that I caught, causing things happen to me. They didn't necessarily cause pain. Like, it caused pain on me, of course, but it caused pain to my family. So I try to alter my life after a while. My mom sent me to Florida for a couple of months. I was going to school out there, and they tried to like make me told me that I have to do like 2 extra years of school. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing the school thing. So I end up dropping. I'm not doing the extra years of school. I just did about like 5 years of school. I'm not doing extra years of school. I came back home to New York. I got my GED. But talking about the GED, my pops told me from when I was 16 that I was able to take my GED and I didn't even have to go to school. But because he was telling me that, it felt like he was telling me something where he was telling me to be a quitter. Instead of analyzing what he was saying, he was trying to give me the different approach to skip myself, because I already had the knowledge to take the test and pass it and move on to college. But I didn't look at it like that. So if I did look at it like that, I probably...
You looked at it as a way out.
Yeah, and it was a way out, and I should have thought about it like, but I didn't analyze it. Now, being older, you look at things differently. But that was my my high school life. I ended up getting my GED. And right after I got my GED, came home 2007. So I got my diploma a year. I just say I graduated a year after my graduation class.
Damn.
So I graduated 2006. I graduated 2007.
I mean, you graduated at 18, right?
Yeah, 18.
Oh, I mean, normal high school age, nothing bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, like school just wasn't for you. Like, trust me, you know where I work at. I work at BDA. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have
a lot of kids like that now.
Yeah,
a lot of kids.
You have those kids that are willing to take the opportunity, and certain kids that school is just not for them. It's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but it is what it is. Some people, they feel like school, like they basically didn't get what they could get out of school. You know what I'm saying? Like, school served nothing for them. But I mean, you can't always blame the kids. It's also the teachers in the institution as well. Because some of them, they don't know how to teach certain kids. They don't, basically don't really know,
right,
that particular student's needs. Because everybody learns differently. So that's
right.
why a lot of kids fall to the wayside. And especially at schools like James Madison, it's very easy for you to get lost quick. Because, those teachers, they got to deal with 25, 30 other kids in a classroom. So they don't really have time to really nurture you.
Right.
So that's why, it's easy for certain kids to drop out.
Yeah. And especially and this is especially because I take all my experiences and I look at them and I analyze and I say, you know what? And I got friends that were with me. So Eves Jules was with me at Madison. and he ended up going on to playing at Hofstra, FDA, and now working with Nike. And since high school, he been telling me like, yo, bro, like, that was one of my first people that I was on. Like, no matter what I was doing, I was like, yo, you can't live life like how I'm living. You gotta be better than me. And ever since then, he been telling me like, yo, bro, you gotta live your calling. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be. I should be bigger and better places. So you see, but I always say, in due time, I just live in true to who I am, and I have no problem being where I am now, because I think who I am helps those that are around me where I am than anywhere else that I could be, because this is where I'm from. And some people got to come from here and let them know that you don't have to be a celebrity to be successful.
Exactly. Very true. So as a kid, when you were able to play in tournaments with FYA, like what tournaments did you like playing in as a youth?
Oh, so Nike's room.
Nike Swoosh, yeah, that was a good league.
Nike Swoosh. I love Nike Swoosh. I don't know. Nike Swoosh was at Washington Park down there by Park Ave, and I guess you could say Clinton Hills, that side of Brooklyn. And what else? West Fourth. West Fourth was always fun. IS8. So all the tournaments that I happen to coach in now,
you played in.
I played in.
Fair enough.
Played in, and that was the kind of the formula when I started coaching. Was like, you know what? I gotta give these kids that same feeling. And it's a great feeling to be able to give them that joy. Like, I'm playing in a legendary tournament. Because I believe in legacy. I believe in people walking through the same path others have. It's just a thing of continuing the legacy, or continuing the essence of passing the culture on and protecting it. You know what I'm saying? And cherishing it and developing it and nurturing it and helping them innovate it. You know what I'm saying? And also us being a part of the innovation, you being part of the innovation. So film had a lot to do with how I look at the basketball world, and why I said I have to put down the camera and coach, just for time being.
So when did coaching come into play for you?
2000. So after high school, so when I moved down to Florida, I went to a school called Flanagan, and by then I was a senior. So I just say I got to my senior year or my fifth year. So my skills, my body drastically was getting better, because I was healing and I was getting older. But in the process of me getting older, I kind of it started throwing my body's chemistry off balance, and reoccurring injuries came back up, and I got hampered again. So by the time I got to my fifth year and I moved down to Florida, I met a coach that was the coach of the basketball team. Well, he was the gym teacher down there, and he saw what I was doing in gym. He was like, you should try for the team. Play you got some skill, young man. Like, he was talking to me, short like me. He's telling me he played in the Final Four for Florida State Seminoles. So it was kind of like I'm listening, like I'm talking, and he's just like, you know what, you got it. Like, and I'm thinking by then, I'm like, all right, maybe I could play D2 college basketball. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could at least make it D2 and get, But I came back home that summer, and I went up for a layup in a local tournament out here. And I don't know, instantly when I came down, I knew I was never going to be the same. So that was just another transformation again. I broke down again. So I went through high school without breaking down. Right after high school, I broke down again. I struggled to get home. And for that whole year, I struggled to walk. I ended up going to the doctors. I had special surgery. I had surgeons over at the hospital, special surgery in the city. And they checked my hip, and my hip was messed up. I needed surgery on my hip, so I was out of commission for another year or so. I had the surgery on my hip, and then after that, they talked to me about having some corrective surgeries to fix my step. One leg was longer than the other, so they did a procedure on me called a limb length, where they broke my femur on my right side, put a rod in, and put a fixator on the outside where I had to turn it every day so the bone could grow inside. And I was home quarantined from like 2010 to 2012. I had a series of surgeries. 2010, I had that big surgery, and I was in the house for a year. So I've been quarantined. I was in my crib for like a year. And that whole time I was home, I was just thinking, like, you know what? I gotta do something that's gonna last, that's gonna leave my imprint. You get what I'm saying? My coach had talked to me about getting up and coaching. I was coaching during the summer, even through all my injuries, through surgeries. I was coaching the kids in local tournaments right here in my neighborhood. Coach Screen was having his tournament. I would put a team in his tournament. I'll be there supporting his tournament. So all the little local tournaments, little community tournaments I was doing. And I was just like, you know what? Once I get through these surgeries, I'm going to go big with it. And I was going through the surgeries. At that time, I was filming. My focus was just filming all the stuff in the city. And I started off filming my local tournament here called Dunker's Delight, which was at a time the biggest basketball tournament in the city. And hopefully the plan is to bring that back, and it will be back. Shout out to everybody from my neighborhood. Dunker's Delight will be back next summer. But so the goal was to just film and capture the sport. And when I went out, when I got used to filming, it was more like, all right, I'm filming now. I'm healthy enough to film. I'm healthy enough to be outside. Let me start recruiting and getting my program serious. So 2015, I was taking coaching serious and getting ready. But in that meantime, 2014, 2015, it was an influx of music going on, and there was an influx of sports and entertainment going on. I was just everywhere filming. I was filming for Bobby Shmurda, Rowdy. So I was kind of like, I was in between two worlds. It's like, I want to capture this, capture the mix, but I also want to coach. So it was more like trying to see which one was going to take me where I wanted to go first. But then the whole incident happened with GS9 and the going to jail. And in that same time, I was flying back and forth between California, shooting and doing videos out there, and making a migration across, because I wanted to go to Cali and live. So I was making a migration. I was going back and forth. And during the summer, I would come back to New York City and coach and film. So 2015, I came back. I said, yo, I'm going to start my team. I think August 19th, August 19th, 2015, I had my first tryout for Brooklyn Avengers. And then after that, I got on the train and I went to film Smart Ball. I saw you that day. He was up at Smart Ball, 2015. He was watching Lincoln versus somebody, probably Jeff or somebody. And that's before I was nowhere even thought about being on Lincoln staff or nothing. I was just there filming. And I had family ties to a couple players that was on the team. Some of them played for me, or some of them was like family to me. So I was there filming the games. And of course, New York City basketball, we had to capture. So I was up there filming the games. After the games were over, I had my bicycle and I was like, you know what, I'm training to get healthy. I'm going to ride back home. So I took the journey and I rode all the way back to Brooklyn. By the time I got back to Brooklyn, I I reached Grand Army Plaza on my way down Flatbush. I actually got off. It's crazy how this happened. I got off of my bicycle and helped push a car off the road. I got back on my bicycle, started riding again. Like 2 minutes later, I got hit off of my bike and left for dead again. Left for dead again. So 2015, August 19th, 2015, I got struck by, I got hit again, hit and run. This time I was riding my bicycle and the car left me. The funny thing was, the person who found me knew me. And he came up on me and I was able to get footage of when I got hit. And the whole time he's sitting there telling the ambulance, he's a great basketball player, he coaches, he's telling them about my life. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah. And I'm just laying on the floor like, not again, not again. And I say everything's happens for a reason. I survived it. I had injuries that I healed from, even though I broke both my ankles, my left arm. I was left mangled, but there's always somebody that's out there that has it worse. And pardon.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So I always say somebody has it worse than me. Somebody will have it worse than me. And I can't look at anything but be grateful for the life that I've lived and the trials and tribulations that I've gone through, and to say that I'm still here and being able to articulate myself, because I could have brain damage. I could be paralyzed. It could be so much worse, but everything is meant to be. And so with that accident, I think that sat me in the hospital for another 3 months. And the whole time I was in the hospital, I was talking to the nurses like, it's like, what you gonna do when you get out of here? What you gonna do get out of here? And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna coach. I'm gonna coach. When I get out of here, I'm gonna coach. And I'm gonna take this to the next level. She's like, you could do it. You could do it. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. So the whole time I was in there, like I said, I had just did the first tryout for Avengers that day. We was preparing to go to a tournament in Long Island. One of my coaches, from that time I survived, the next day that I woke up in the hospital, I put together the roster. I made phone calls. I made him connect and get uniforms done while I was still in the hospital. Arm is mangled, feet is, but I'm still like, nah, we got to get this up and running. We got to get this started. So shout out to my brother True, held me down. And then Legend stepped in. My partner in crime, he stepped in when I was in the hospital, when I got to the nursing home, and he just took over. We was playing shout out to Mike McLegan. Mr. McLegan been part of my life since I was a kid, playing in his tournaments.
Mm.
And Mr. McLegan, we played in his fall ball tournaments. So Legend was basically just would take the kids, and when I was able to get out the hospital, my first goal was to get to a game. So even in my wheelchair, I made it to a game. They brought, they got a special van. They took me to the game. Legend came, got a voucher to take me out the hospital. Legend came to the game, take me out the hospital, and we went to the game, and I coached from the sidelines in my wheelchair. Just being in there, a part of the game and a part of the environment, lifted my spirits. And ever since then, I've just been going full steam from the hospital bed to out the hospital. When I got out the hospital, that's when Terminal 23 was open. I had my links, connections to Terminal 23, and I took my kids there. Then Carmelo Anthony was doing something. I was able to take my kids to meet Carmelo Anthony. And everything was just, when you go to extra mile in life, they say when you go to extra mile in life, success is right around the corner. That's one of the first disciplines that you have to build, is learning how to go the extra mile. And so when I started going the extra mile, the fruits of my labor started to bloom. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I began coaching with Avengers. So you could say Avengers is 5 years old. This is the 5th year now. We celebrating 5 years. And as far as high school coaching, I was in the hospital. I survived the accident 2015. When I was in the hospital, I wrote my athletic director. I wrote the athletic director, who was still the same athletic director when I was in high school at James Madison. And because I had the whole JV play for me, Brooklyn Avengers, I emailed him and I sent an email stating my ordeal, what I do, what I want to do, why I want to come there and be a volunteer assistant coach. I sent him the rule book of how you could be why I should be a volunteer assistant coach, and he basically sent me back and shut me down. Was like, you know what? We only hire people that are in the building.
Yeah.
So when
I want no liabilities, no problems, no none of that.
So when I came out, I just do what Flatbush black men do. Like, go get what you want. Like, I just started being that support system for my kids. From the time I got out the hospital, I got out November. Season is just starting. They sophomores playing JV at James Madison, and I was there as many games as I could be from the sidelines, coaching from the sidelines. All the parents would be like, yo, why you not coaching? I coached them. I'll be like, I coached them off season. You know, I tried to coach them. The school don't want it. So the same thing happened their junior year. But the reason I wanted to coach in the building was because I know that I could have helped them stay academically eligible. And because of how they were outside of school and off the court, and because of how the school was, and I knew exactly what were our ailments when we were going there, because we had a whole team of players that had been killing in the PSAL if they knew how to stay academically eligible. So that was the main reason why I was there. With the talent that they had, I can't really say with my assistants, because the head coach was being standoffish about bringing me in because he didn't want me to overpower or take his job in any way. And this is, you could go ask people that observed, you go ask the kids, you go ask their parents. These are things that happen. And I just was staying there or sitting there every game, just being a supportive mentor for all my kids.
Right. You was basically a threat without trying to be in the
Exactly.
coach's eyes.
Right. And I just wanted to help them because they're in the A division. I'm telling you, if junior year, Law and Tech won, or they won their senior year.
I think might have been Larry's senior year.
But they went to the championship junior year and lost.
Yeah, that might have been probably.
Okay. Whatever those 2 years was, I was coaching, just on the staff, just helping them out. I'd had 2 city titles. I'm be honest. Just with the talent and my boys and the way that our chemistry was. Because if anybody saw us play, so that summer after I got out, that next summer, so 2015, I got hit. 2016, in preparation of the guys going into their junior year, I took them and put them into tournaments around the city. So I had 2 teams under the Brooklyn Avengers name in tournaments around the city. And that was just to give them some development work to get them ready for the season. So I put them in the tournament in LES. I took them and I put them in Positive Influence Uptown. And I was coming in, and there's a diverse group. It was kids, white kids, and black kids coming, and then people looking at like, yeah, this is the high school team. Like, you get what I'm saying? This is Madison high school team. And I was building chemistry and getting them going. By the time they got back to the junior season, the chemistry they built was cool, but he didn't know how to get the best or get the most out of them. And that's because of everything they had to deal with, not only on the basketball court, but in the classroom. And because he could not relate to them on that level, he lost some of his star players to academics. He lost one star player who ended up transferring out of there to Brooklyn Collegiate and did not get a tick at all at Brooklyn Collegiate. So these kids are out here making moves based on the institution that they're in, and then getting sold dreams by coaches who are looking to improve their programming, not programming, but improve their program and not necessarily improve the future of the athlete. So, and this is where I just had to keep fighting till I got to a space where I could say to them, trust me, I got a place where you can go and be treated the way you need to and grow the right way. And in that process of me coaching during the summer, I end up not saying meeting, but speaking with Coach Will Jackson over at Benjamin Banneker. Shout out to Will Jackson. Unknown to a lot of people in the city, he's been one of the most winningest coaches in the city in the last 10 years. But people won't really know because he's in the A division. So, but if you go look at his win numbers and his losses, you can see his win percentage is one of the best in the city over the last 10 years. Not 8, but 10 years. So shout out to Will Jackson for giving me my first opportunity to coach high school basketball. He brought me on as his assistant at Benjamin Banneker in 2016. I was at Banneker for a season. Then the whole thing happened with Tiny over at Lincoln. As you know, I had connections to the schools or to some players in the schools all this time because of prior history of me being around and knowing people, and then also being now coaching the kids and also filming. So I had familiarity with Coach Dashi and the program over at Lincoln. So once Tiny, it had been rumored that he was leaving, and once it was official that he was leaving and the job was going to Dashi, I reached out to Dashi, and he opened his arms for me and brought me in, and I've just been learning and being a scholar of the game since then, and trying to take coaching to the next level now, because it was filming and adjusting to getting in the door of coaching, but now it's taking coaching to the next level. I would have never thought I'd have been at Lincoln, and I know there's a lot of doubt going on in the city based on a lot of doubt about a program, but in every big programming, there's always a change of the guards, and there's always a refresh of the program, and but it's still gonna be held with the same foundation that Lincoln program has always been founded on, and that's discipline, determination. You know what I'm saying? So we here still working at Lincoln, and this is just the beginning of my coaching career.
I hear that. So, talk about, Step in the Mix, the mixtape.
Oh, so Step in the Mix. My Brooklyn Avengers is a sports and arts program. Like I said, I coach for more than just sports. I'm about the arts as well. I'm about academia as well. School and being able to express yourself and articulate yourself is important to me as a person. So I have many different talents, and one of my talents is being able to write, and I also perform. I'm a spoken word artist. You could say, some people say rapper or whatever you want to call it. Like I like to say, like one of my heroes is Gil Scott Heron. So you could think I'm like in that lane when it comes to speaking my words and articulating myself. So Step in the Mix has been my brand. You could say it's been my brand for I've been in the mix for about 15 years. So I was like, I won't change it. It's just how I'm gonna evolve. The mix will always be relevant because there's always a mix out there for somebody. There's always things, entertainment and other genres of entertainment out there for people. So the mix is always relevant. No matter what you're doing, you're in the mix. You're a coach. You're in a coach's mix when you're talking about sports and fitness, and that's your mix. Dave is a journalist, so anything in the journalist mix. He's going to conventions. He's going to tournaments here. That's Dave's mix. You in your own mix. So the term mix or mixy could have a negative connotation, but it's not negative at all because they use the word too mixy, or they have to put the word too on it, too mixy as in to make it negative. But you could be mixy because being mixy means you're relevant. You're being relevant in whatever it is that you do. So step in the mix. I'm in the mix, and it comes with many different things: fitness, art, all forms of art, sports. So I the acronym for STEPS, and it's coming because I've had this over a decade. Like I said, it's coming. STEPS TV, sports, talent, entertainment, political, and scholastic television. I'm just trying to get people to step out the box. So all my programming, and now I can say I'm working on programming. I'm not just filming anymore. There's direction with it. So I'm working on programming, and just like you developed this as a program here. And if it's not on my network, it should be on somebody's network sooner or later. You get what I'm saying? This is all programming. And once we start looking at the things that we develop, the way that the other people do when they want to exploit us, the more powerful that we will be, and be able to protect our culture. So that's what Step in the Mix is about. Let me see. I got a little bars for you.
Go ahead.
I said, obviously for 4 weeks, I only had one dream. Death came for me before I could even be a teen. Went from being the best athletically to not on a team. Olympian I was breeded to be. Guess you could say winning goal wasn't meant to be. Stripped of my medals before they were given to me. So now I'm out to redeem my dream with a new team. And they say, once you lose one sense, the others get sharper. So I vowed to not soak in my self-pity any longer. That's why I'm physically, mentally, spiritually, I'm calmer. I'm sorry, Lance, I don't live strong, I'm living stronger. I write like he rolled to show everybody what burns inside. So passionate, set my heart on fire. Nothing to put it out. Not even a glass of ice cold water and some Rolaids. Not scared of death, whether it comes tomorrow after old age. See, this here the type that makes me right. Give all my haters a reason and right. Peel myself open so you can see it right. Universal Mr. Right, I'm every girl's type. A vampire like Edward, I stay up all night and shine in sunlight. Fighting off these wolves like I'm in twilight. I'm just too bright, nothing can eclipse me. Don't drink, not a lame, just one kidney. But won't toast, won't kill me. So let's celebrate tonight and make history. Y'all gonna want to thank me later when y'all missing me.
Easy. Powerful bars, brother. Powerful bars.
Yo, good luck, man. Like I said, that's a little bit of you asked me step out, and I gotta get used to being on my performer vibes. I've been in
you did great, man. You did really good.
So yeah, that's the next step in evolution. I think that I did a good job, and I always think I never try to go out and talk about myself so much.
Right, you're not into self-promotion, basically.
Right, but I think now is the time that I have to tell, because I've been delegating my time and energy to so many others or to so many other things that if I don't develop myself, I can't help others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my kids will be motivated and inspired more if they see this side of me, because then they'll be able to relate more to expressing themselves, and being the times where the kids gotta express themselves. And like I keep saying, I appreciate you because I appreciate you and Jay and everybody else in the media that has used this time to tell story. Let the kids tell their stories.
Right.
They are going through things where we have to hear their perspective now. Why are we not teaching them to articulate and speak with media from now? Why do they have to become professionals to get that etiquette?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that something that you want to wait to college to let them know about? Why you want to teach them about cleaning up their social media in college?
Right.
Why are you not teaching them about character from now? You know what I'm saying? So those are all the little things that I've seen that I've struggled to get out of my players, not to get across to them, but because of the environments they grow up in, it's hard to change their perspective on life. And the only way to do that is by you going out there and changing your environment, your life, your outlook on life. They have to be able to look at you and be able to see something that they could possibly emulate. And the easiest thing to do is to go out and be a rapper. The easiest thing to do is to go out and sell drugs. The hardest thing to do is to find success by just impacting the world. And I don't think we believe that success is that, just leaving an imprint on the earth. I think monetary gains has changed how we look at society and what success is in society. But I'm thankful for everything that's going on. 2020 vision, the world that we're going through a lot. But I think that once we could get through this, that I think things can only get greater. You know what I'm saying? Like things were way worse before. So you know what I'm saying? Like we living through tough times, but there's always been tougher times. You gotta remember that. I think we forget that as a society. And but I think things will get better. And I think that it's all of our duty to prepare our young ones for and make them as best as they can be for what's to come. So whatever I have with my program is gonna be here forever, trickle down. And that's gonna be all my programming. Like I said, it's gonna be the sports, and it's not gonna be just basketball, soccer, football, handball, NBA 2K leagues, video game leagues. All that is coming this summer. You know what I'm saying? We can't play ball, but I'm definitely gonna call you one day, be like, yo, you gotta come report. I'm doing a big 2K league, and everybody's pulling up to the park to play 2K. You know what I mean? It's coming. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's gonna see this and try to steal my idea before it comes, but I don't worry about that because that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't do it like you can.
Doing right.
Right. But if you inspire, like I said, you inspire. There's many ideas that I've given out to the city, and especially the world of basketball, that you possibly you've seen people emulate. And I don't ever look at the thing like, hey, I don't hate. I just congratulate and move on. If it's something that I wanted to do and I procrastinated and somebody popped it off, that's my fault. So, you know, I'm a humble spirit, humble soul, and I'm just looking to give back to my community. My community's number one thing right now. I'm promoting fitness, health and wealth. Health is wealth. Through all I've been through, health and wealth is the most important thing to me. Improving my community is what I want to be known for, because, you know, I've been here 32 years already. I got another 15 years left in my community. You get what I'm saying? Like, before I could say, you know, I can impact someone else. You know what I'm saying? I can impact the world. Even though I could impact it by just spreading out. I'm talking about being front line. You know, a lot of people say front line right now, but, you know, a lot of people are walking and protesting, but front line is being in your community and being proactive with these kids, being proactive with these programs. I'm a coach, and I don't have enough parents out there supporting. I'm coaching their kids. I'm having different relationships with their kids, and we don't get acknowledged for it. But these parents, you know, some of these parents could be out here screaming that things are so unjust, but we're not preparing them for the unjust world because we're not nurturing them. We're not reaffirming their dreams, their ambitions. And so we have a lot of kids that are fighting doubts, and they're fighting doubts in their own homes. So I'm just out here to be that mentor, that shoulder they can lean on, that ear that they can talk to, someone that can give them back good perspective, positive energy. And that's never gonna stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Dave, can't stop, won't stop. As far as the filming, shout out to everybody that's doing the filming. Shade Days, Jay picked up the camera now, Vintage. Everybody's out here doing the work. When I first started, shout out to It's Adidas, even him. He's out here doing the work. I got stories.
Shout out to Brian.
Yeah, shout out to Brian. Stay shooting. These are all people that I've seen start from the beginning. And because I was such in a transition of where I was in life, I kind of said, you know what? I think coaching is at this time is more valuable than filming. And I'm gonna focus on coaching. Now with this little time off, we don't really have to coach in tournaments this summer. All the footage that I have, my goal is to get it all out this summer.
Right.
So my documentaries, I got documentaries on South Shore basketball team when they on the beginning of their run. I have documentation. I have footage of Tiny and his last run to the city championship with Lincoln. I got footage from summertime with us that I could just throw up. Whole bunch of basketball tournaments that we've been to, whole bunch of basketball that we've seen that I could just put up. So I'll be able to sit down and work on my stuff and take some time to myself and be able to put my stuff out, as well as my music, my spoken word, any other projects that I have, filming, YouTubing now. I dropped something on my YouTube page, but I did not drop my first official YouTube video on my channel, but I'll be starting my channel, Coach Step. And I'll just be asking everybody to subscribe. You're going to see me more and more. I work out every day. All those that want to work out can inbox me at Step in the Mix. Get some workouts. You go check my page out, the different workouts that I do. I do not do your normal stuff. I could do the normal stuff. Foundation is key. But because I have so much injuries, I try to find workouts that give me the best full body exercise. So that's just a little bit of me, man, Dave. Like that's not even just a little, that's a lot of me. I appreciate you for the hour. Like one day I'm gonna sit down and I'm telling you the interview of Dave is gonna be fire. Nobody has really sat down and picked your brain. You're picking everybody else's brain. You have a lot in there though. You're a deep brother, and I just want to congratulate you again and want to motivate and inspire you to keep going and not stop. You know what I'm saying? Take it to the top.
Well, I have, a couple final questions for you. So, and this is something that I love to ask all of my guests. If you could go back to 2001, what would you tell 12-year-old Senyo as he's recovering from that accident?
At this point, be a scholar. Read as much as you can about it all. Soak in knowledge, gain knowledge. So this way you can get that knowledge to more people. You know what I'm saying? I think I fought so much to build my self-esteem that it took away from what I could have been focusing on. So my father told me right after my accident, and at the time I thought it was cold love. He told me you can't have no self-pity for yourself. And he understood it based on the life that he lived. And if I could tell myself at 12 years old, be no self-pity, none through high school. Just, even though I end up finding myself, but it would be, that's why I said in the poem, that's why I vowed to not soak with my self-pity any longer. That's why I'm mentally, physically, and spiritually, I'm calmer. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what is to be will be. You cannot stop that. But how you respond to it makes you the person that you are. So I think it would just be to read, gain knowledge on all aspects, and just no self-pity. Even though I found it eventually, just took me longer. Took me some years, But everything that happened to me for a reason. And shout out to Candy Carter. She tells me all the time. She told me like, yo, and now that I know it, I gotta upheld myself all the time. Is to whom much is given, much is required. And after you hear my story, Dave, has much been given to me? Do you think much has been given to me? I think much to be able to survive all that I've survived and be able to sit here and talk to you and articulate myself without slurring, or be able to sit here and have all my limbs, be able to go outside, run, jump, shoot a basket, catch a football, kick a soccer ball, to be able to do all that after 23 plus surgeries. My scar, I got a wound sticking out my stomach right now, and I got a stitch poking out my stomach. To be able to go through all that and still be here, much has been given to me. So with all that said, much is required from me. And like I said, I can't have no self-pity. I can't have none of that, because this is the cards I've been dealt. So to be the man that I'm supposed to be, I gotta stand up in it. I gotta take it to more levels, take it to new heights, because guess what? You only been given one life. So you got one life to live, yet one life to lose. So,
That says it. So, final question. What's next in the future for Senyo Toponwey, a.k.a. Step in the Mix?
What's next? So I'm in school finishing my degree right now. The goal is to finish the degree, and we'll see where basketball is next year. We'll see what basketball is next year. As far as my career, I'm gonna get serious with my writing and put out my tape. Like I said, I'm put out my tape. Start performing more. Start doing. Start telling my story. I've been working on my documentary, and basketball story for you. That correlates with my accident and everything that I went through. So 2001, when I got in my accident, it was February, right before March Madness. When I got out the hospital, when I woke up out the coma, I think national championship just happened or was about to happen. However happened, Duke won the national championship 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Williams, went to high school with my cousin in New Jersey, and they were good friends. My cousin reached out to Jay Williams and told him about my accident. Jay had the whole 2001 Duke team autograph championship T-shirt that they got on the floor that night, autograph, and sent it to me.
Wow!
At my hospital bed. Yeah. Wow. So I woke up to that T-shirt, and that's something that I'll cherish to this day. And that story will be told on a national. I know the evolution won't be televised. I mean, the revolution won't be televised, but my evolution will be televised, and that's one of the things that the world will see, because it's just the correlation of the stories that it's so amazing looking back now, is because of what Jay went through in his life. And that was actually interviewing him. You still here?
Yep, yeah, of course.
I lost you on the screen. Sorry.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. So I lost you on the screen. Yeah, but Jay, because of what he went through with the accident and how his life went and how he had to rebound, it's like our lives went on parallel paths. Like when it comes to, it's just that he happened to get to his greatness and got that taken away from him. I didn't get to the greatness collegially, you know what I'm saying? But I understood what it means to have that and having to find a new purpose in life. And the person that he's become out to be possibly is greater than the athlete that he would have been. So with that said, you know, that was just a crazy basketball story that I think that you would love to hear. And the funny thing about that was he was my first interview, World Basketball Festival 2010.
Wow.
I went up to Rucker with a camera and he was just there chilling. I think it was one of the first days he wanted to get back on court and play with people. And I just went up to him, did a little interview with him. And after I was like, yo, you remember me? And it's just crazy. That was the last time we actually got kind of spoke. But I know it's coming. I know, like I said, this year is about telling my story. And I'm just out here just, you know, trying to, I said I'm tired of surviving. I'm ready to start striving and thriving. And that's what y'all gonna see going forward. Dave, stay tuned. You're gonna be a part of it. Like I said, I got a lot of B-roll. I'm talking to Dave. Dave, I don't know why you filming me, Steph.
My God, I really appreciate you coming on to tell your story. Like, I wish you nothing but the best of luck with Lincoln, the Brooklyn Avengers, and Step in the Mix moving forward.
Yo, Dave's joint. I appreciate you, my brother. Like, I could only see great things for you going forward, and this is just the beginning of your platform. You started with just your articles, your journal. Now you're here. Soon, Bleacher Report probably. Soon, somewhere very soon where you're getting the accolades you deserve, my brother. So keep going. All right?
Well, everybody, this is episode 37 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. For all my people in Brooklyn that support Step, definitely check out this interview on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. Everybody out here in New York is phase 2 on Monday. But
yeah, talks are opening. So do you think that they're gonna put the rims back up?
Only God knows. But
they say parks are opening.
Yeah, but probably the jungle gym for the little ones.
Yeah. So like I said, everybody, parks are opening. We're not able to get the work. I saw they came out with this New York City Commission. This New York City Commission came out with something celebrating all the tournaments held in the city during the summer. So I said that I wanted to start a challenge, and it's called Wear Your Tourney Gear challenge. No matter what you're doing this summer, you outside chilling, you working out, wherever you're going, let's show support. And the thing about it is, a lot of people scream and support Black businesses, but when it comes to the sport, we don't never look at it as a business. You ever wondered that?
That's true.
So a lot of people complain about what's going on during the summer with these tournaments, but a lot of these tournament, the people that run these tournaments put their life on the line to get these tournaments and hold these tournaments for these kids, because a lot of them tap into their savings to put these tournaments together for their kids. And it is a business. So we gotta, if we respect the AAU part of the business and traveling and going to all these tournaments, we have to start respecting the city game and the city tournaments and supporting Black business this summer. We are not, these tournaments, they are Black, majority of them are Black business. And we're going to support, the way I say that we could support them this summer is put on your tourney gear. You outside working out, put on your tourney gear. I think I got Isaiah Whitehead shorts on right now. Yesterday I had my Gersh shorts on. West 4th. Unfortunately, most of the tournaments I coach in, I do not get to keep gear because the kids take everything. But to the kids, to the coaches, to the staff members, to everybody in New York City basketball community. Support our basketball tournaments. Wear your merch. Wear your tourney gear. That's the name of my challenge. I don't know if you want to promote it. I know you got some tourney gear that you could throw on. Wear your tourney gear. That's my challenge. Wear your tourney gear, gallons. And that's going into the summer of 2020. Everybody, I wish y'all a happy summer. Get outside and work out. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. All the athletes, all the ballers, this is where you separate yourself. Separation summer. This is it right now. If you want to work, you can find hoops, secret workouts, secret basketball runs. Get the best of the best. Iron sharpens iron. So do not go out there and half-ass yourself. What you put in is what you get out. And as like you said, you can still see it on my Instagram and see that I want it. If I could want it, there ain't no way that a teenager or a high school or a college athlete doesn't want it. So just go out there and work. All right?
On that note, guys, stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.